Now, if you suffer with chronic poor striking like shanking, maybe you're an early extender through the golf ball, maybe you just have a really poor downswing, and no matter how hard you practice, how many hours you put in the range, you cannot improve it. Well, this one tweak we're going to make to your setup is going to fix all of those reasons, because one of the big root cause reasons we see players really struggle with having a very poor quality downswing is because they're setting up to the golf ball really poor. So this one small tweak is going to save you thousands of hours on the driving range. So all our tweak is going from setting up like this in what we call the athletic setup, where we've got a lot of knee flex, we've got a little bit of an extended spine here, and we've got a pretty straight upper and mid back. So this will always, for the vast majority of golfers, cause early extension and poor striking just from making up to the setup. And what we're tweaking this to is more what we see the players back in the day set up to, which is way friendlier for the amateur golfer. So just like here, where we call it really a bit more old man posture. So what we call a relaxed setup. So we can see here we've got some little bit of bend in the knees. We've got our pelvis tucked underneath us with a straight lower back, and we're gradually rounding up to our upper back, like we see with guys like Sam Snead, Jack Nicklaus, all them guys from back in the day. And it really promotes you to move a hell of a lot better with way less effort. So we're going to get into a really simple procedure to get you in that setup every single time. But we're first going to get into the drawbacks of the athletic setup and the benefits of the old man setup. So why does that athletic setup always produce poor striking, and why is that the reason why so many golfers can't improve their downswing? Because when we're setting up in this athletic posture that used to be taught all the time in the 90s and early 2000s. So with an athletic setup, that is your armpits are pretty much over your toes. You've got a lot of knee flex, extended lower spine, straight upper back. So what this does, like we said, this gets the armpits over the toes. Now that is the mass of your upper body is over a very unstable part of your feet, so your toes. So some people have it in front. So when they're turning, they're going to have a big balance issue in their golf swing. Because you've got to imagine, if the mass of your upper body is on top of the toes, that's going to then put your weight more forward. So you're going to end up drifting towards the golf ball. We quite often see players from there start to move their pelvis underneath their body to be able to realign them in a better balanced spot. So the mass of the lower body is now underneath the mass of the upper body. But that from there, we will start to see players early extending the downswing, pushing the pelvis forward, again, to realign the body, to get the weight of that upper body, the mass of it, managed underneath the lower. Because of course, we have got to use that lower body to manage our weight, of course, of the upper, because that's going to keep us in balance. But of course, that's going to cause early extension. Because if I just, let's say, stayed on my toes with this athletic posture, weight's going to stay there in the backswing, weight's going to stay there in the downswing, I'm just going to fall forward if I put full speed on it. So that's why we see this rocking back and forward motion. So that's why you could time up like that one. Wasn't that bad of a strike. It's only gone 123 yards with my A time, which is quite considerably shorter than I hit my A time. So not very good at all. This is why we see so many players do early extension drills and never manage to fix their early extension, or drills to fix their shank shot, or just drills to fix their striking, because they're not addressing the root cause issue, and that is that terrible athletic setup. Gets you all out of balance. And just imagine here, I'm on a tightrope over a canyon. If I'm going to then, let's say, balance myself on the tightrope, if I get my upper body moving forward, weight's going to go onto my toes, so where's the rest of my weight going to go to counterbalance? It's going to go back so I don't fall down into the canyon. Same thing happens on a golf swing. To keep balance, terrible. Moves your strike. You can imagine if I'm having and staying a little bit too much on the toes, I don't counterbalance enough. I'm just going to meet with the hosel first. I'm going to shank it. But of course, as we know, early extension and poor striking is a result for that quite clean of a strike. So if you don't compress the golf ball, have a look at your setup. It could absolutely be this. So old man posture, why do we want to do this? And then we're going to get into a really good setup procedure to get us doing this all the time. So old man posture is absolutely brilliant. We saw all the greats back in the day set up to the golf ball like this. Everyone did. And then golf got into the aesthetical era where things had to look good. Didn't really matter how they functioned. and then it all went downhill. Now it's getting back to where it used to be. So old man posture is armpits over the balls of the feet, little bit of a flex in the knees, not loads, just a little bit. And then we have the pelvis tucked underneath the body, straight lower back, rounding up to the upper back there. Now, what does that do? Like we said, that gets the armpits over the balls of the feet. So the mass of the upper body is over now the mass of the lower body. So as we turn in the backswing, our weight now is not going to be drifting onto the toes. So we need no counterbalancing effort there. So when we can just get a nice full rotation in the backswing, the weight then is ideally going to be going into the inside of the trail heel naturally, which is where our pressure and our weight should shift to. And then, because we've got no balance issues, now we can get the hips moving back, which is going to move us into flexion without the weight going onto our toes. Pressure can shift into that left heel nicely, and then we can stay down in posture and hit the ball nicely. But the club's also going to be working on the arc better, because I'm not going to be diverging it out from being on my toes, because I'm going to be nicely distributing my weight better. You can see the arc is going to meet that center of the club face perfectly. So that's where this is such a simple thing with getting the armpits over the balls of the feet. It might look a little bit different than the classic athletic hip hinged setup, but it will make your body able to function better and move a lot more athletically. So for our setup procedure, really simple. What we want to do, it gets you in old man posture all the time. So stand with your knees with a slight bend to them. Grab your club and have it just in front of you like so. And stand upright like you're talking to someone in front of you. So pretty much straight with your torso. So then what I want to do, I want to get this club behind the golf ball without hinging my hips or bending my knees more. So what does that mean? I'm going to have to relax my mid and upper back until the club hits the ground. Boom. My armpits are now over the balls of the feet, and I'm in that old man posture. So again, standing up, pretty straight with the knees, tiny bit of a flex to them, a little bit of a give. Be standing up like you're talking to someone in front of you, and then relax that mid and upper back until club hits the ground. Now, if you're someone like me who has quite abnormally long arms, you might need to take a little bit of a shuffle back just to get yourself comfortable, but don't be compromising your posture to do so. So just take a shuffle back in that same posture. So now we're at that position. Now we can go and swing and hit shots in a much more comfortable position. So this is where we can do things like grabbing our old classic drills, like a chair drill for early extension, because again, you know, I talk about this drill loads on my channel, but I know a lot of you do this drill and you can't find any success with it because the root cause reason of your early extension hasn't been addressed, which for most golfers is their setup, and there is a complete guide to early extension of all the root causes and a practice plan for every single little root cause in it, down in the description. Most comprehensive guide to early extension anywhere on the internet. So that is down in the description there. So root cause needs to be worked on. Like we can see here, and this is going to be for shankers of the golf ball, absolutely brilliant as well. The more you keep yourself back with that better posture, the less you're going to have of shanking the golf ball. So if I just grab, let's say, a chair there, have it half a grips behind me, get into my good posture, brilliant. And then if we do a drill like this, where we're just keeping our pelvis back, so that's the point of this posture, is it allows you to keep your posture back. You don't have to be on your toes for balance. And then we can perform these drills a hell of a lot better. Boom, very, very nice. Okay, so nice simple thing. Slight little tweak is going to make a huge difference. We need to set up better if we want to move better. If our setup is bad in that classic athletic posture, it's terrible. There's a reason why the golfers who used to set up like that, like Jason Day back in the past, Michelle Wee, why they almost, well, Michelle Wee did retire, but Jason Day almost retired because it was giving them lower back pain. You can't set up like that. You need to be more like your Sam Sneads, like your Arnold Palmer, like your Jack Nicklaus. That's how we need to set up to the golf ball. So make that tweak. It's going to make life so much easier for you. And your downswing is actually going to finally improve. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction, just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too, to be notified every time I put out a video.